As mentioned in our tutorial video about the general settings of Visual Composer extensions, the plugin comes with multiple custom post types that are used to feed data or information to their matching elements in Visual Composer. Those custom post types by default are deactivated, and if you haven't done so already, you need to activate them first in order to use the post type itself and their matching elements. You can activate those post types in the plugin settings on the main section called General Settings. If you scroll down a little, you will notice a section called Manage Custom Post Types. In here you can control which post types you actually need and disable or enable them to your liking. For this purpose, we will just enable all custom post types. Once you make your selection, all that is left to do is to save your settings. And you will now notice the new post types available to you. This particular video will show you how to use the custom post type VCE Skillsets and its related element in Visual Composer extensions. Before adding your first skill set, you might want to consider creating some categories for your skill sets. Those categories are fully optional, not required, but they do help to filter for certain skill sets in Visual Composer, assuming you have many different skill sets in multiple categories. That would make it easier to identify a specific one. So we will just add two different ones real quick. That will help us in our demo later on. When adding a new skill set, you just use Add New, which will bring you to this section, which should be fairly straightforward. You start out with providing a basic title. That title is used to identify a skill set in the select box when adding it to Visual Composer. And over here you can assign your skill set to one of the categories you created earlier. Now we will just add our very first skill set, which is as simple as that. All you do is provide a name to your skill and the value, the level of your skill in percent. Just enter the number in here, do not enter the percent sign, just the value. A skill set obviously implies that it probably has more than one skill, so we will just add another one by using that bottom button. And for this one, we like to have it a different color, which we will just select here. And then you just move on and add as many different skills for that particular set as you feel necessary. In our case, we have 5 different skill sets right now. If I decide that maybe I want my skills sorted differently, you can use those little buttons for each individual skill, which will move that particular skill up and down. In that case, I moved CSS 95 up, which forced HTML and 100 down. Note that the color will not shift. It will only move around the values as you enter them here. Once you're happy with your selections and your colors, you just publish. And your skill set is ready to go, as it is now shown in here. You just go ahead and add a second skill set. Again, it's the same procedure as before. Please note that whatever languages I just entered here in no way reflect my actual language skills. So we now have two skill sets to work with, and it's time to move over to an actual page and see how to use those with Visual Composer. So we will just create a new page, or of course you can always use an existing one. Just going to make some basic selections based on my theme, and we'll switch over to Visual Composer. Just going to add a row real quick, create two columns, one column for each of the testimonial skill sets we just created. As with all our elements, you will find them under VCE extensions, and the skill set happens to be the last one. In this select box, we find the two skill sets we just created. If at some point you have so many skill sets that this list is just very long and it's hard for you to find the matching one, you can filter that list based on the categories you assigned to each skill set. That's when the categories from earlier come into play. So if I just filter by web design, I only have skill sets in that one category. Of course, you can filter by multiple categories as well. In our case, since we only have two, that's not really necessary. The next step is to define how thick the skill bars should be. Again, you can theoretically do any kind of numbers. For now, we just go with the most basic design. Leave it at that. We will also just pick the other one we just created and publish our page. And then viewing our page, here are the skill sets as we defined them earlier. So maybe you feel that those bars are not thick enough. I'm just going to copy that row real quick so we can reuse what we already have. And we will do a bar height of 15. the updating again. You will now see that the bars are noticeably thicker. You can also add some basic effects to your bar by adding stripes. We'll do that for both of the thicker versions we just created. And you can also animate those stripes. We'll do that for one of the two, so we have an easy comparison. So as you can see, this one has static stripes, and this one has animated stripes. And that is basically all that is to know about the Skillsets post type. If for whatever reason you want to change the values you assign to all those skills, you will of course go back to your Skillsets and just edit the one you like to change. This one a different color, and let's just say my Spanish improved dramatically. Now Spanish got my new color and my new value. That way you don't have to go into the actual page anymore and to change the value, change it in your post type, which will also allow you to reuse the same skill set on multiple places in your website while only having one place to maintain it. The last thing I just want to show real quick is how easy it is to just remove a particular skill from a skill set. You probably already noticed earlier those remove skill buttons. Just clicking on it will in fact remove a skill from the set. You just update and you will notice that Spanish is now gone. And that is really all you need to know about the custom post type for Skillsets. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.